unkind, friendly, your worst enemy, charming, fast, and potentially dangerous. Have you ever heard of such? I'm invisible and impossible to touch.
What's up, it's your boy I Know Mercy, the Mad Hatter. I want to talk today about the Injustice series and kind of what I want from it going forward, because, well, NetherRealm Studios has kind of had a pattern over the last few years. Basically, they have two major games, obviously, under their belt. They have the, of course, Mortal Kombat, but also the Injustice series. And for the last few years, basically they've gone through a cycle of working on these two games. Essentially, they do the Mortal Kombat thing, and then they bring out Injustice. Then they stay on that for a good while, and then they go back to Mortal Kombat, and yeah, you know. So Mortal Kombat's been out for about a year now, so I'm gonna say that within the next year or so, they're at least going to announce the next Injustice game. Because at this point, what I believe is their first fighter pack is coming to its end. They just released the Joker over about a month ago, and Spawn is coming out this month. So they might do another character pack. They might not, but like they've had a decent run of DLC over the last year or so since the game came out, and so I don't know if they're nearing the end of their support of Mortal Kombat 11, or if they're gonna go on for a little bit longer. But it's I'm gonna say by the end of this year, most likely. They're probably going to either by the end of this year or the beginning of next year. They're probably going to announce, if they are in fact working on it, Injustice 3. So I guess I just kind of wanted to talk about what I would want from an Injustice 3 if we are in fact getting one. And like, I do want an Injustice 3 because like I really do like the Injustice series. I like the idea of the Injustice series, and I like the combat. It is obviously very similar to Mortal Kombat, but I really like this series, and I kind of like what NetherRealms is sort of doing with it for the most part. I unfortunately haven't been able to play Injustice 2, but like from what I've seen of it and what I've heard of it, it seems like I'd probably enjoy it. I guess it's really not mechanically what I want from Injustice 3, because honestly I'm not a big fighting game guy, so like I really don't know how the mechanics of a fighting game work. I mean, I know how they work, obviously, like I know basic stuff, but I really don't know the technicals of how a fighting game is supposed to work or anything like that. So like I can't tell you about there's a couple of YouTube channels that I typically watch about fighting game content that they're just throwing out all this jargon that I don't completely understand. Like I can parse through it, and I can pick up, and I can figure out what they're ultimately talking about. But for the most part, like I don't know what makes a good fighting game, or what kind of mechanic would go into a good fighting game, or anything like that. I'm mostly curious about the story of what a new Injustice would look like. Although, I mean, there are a few things about mechanically that I would want that I think would be interesting, especially coming off of Mortal Kombat 11. The different powers, like Injustice 2 did this, and Mortal Kombat 11 did this. The fact that it has different challenge towers, I actually kind of like that. I kind of hope they keep that. And the whole multiverse thing, which is basically the Injustice version of like justifying the different powers and shit like that, which is weird. Like, just I don't know. But the gear system, I was never crazy about. I never thought it would work, especially since okay, I'm gonna be real. The character design in Injustice 2 especially, it's not great. Like, Superman looked like he was wearing pajamas. Like, I know technically kind of always does, but like, especially in Injustice 2, like, they look like pajamas, you know? Like, it's like some of the character designs are actually pretty good. Like, I actually really like, say, Captain Cold, the two Flash and Reverse Flash. I actually think they look pretty good. Harley Quinn is whatever. Obviously, there's holy fuck with the Joker, but like, he's not important, so whatever. That's also another thing. Like, I'm gonna get back to that. I don't know if it's a graphics engine they were using, but like, some of the heroes' costumes really didn't look that great. So, like, I don't know, maybe the new engine they're using for Mortal Kombat 11 will fix that. I don't know, like, pretty much everyone in Mortal Kombat 11 looked fucking great. But that doesn't always translate over into, like, superheroes and stuff. I mean, Joker looks great, you know, so, like, there's hope there, but, like, it's still, you know. So yeah, design-wise, I've always kind of had an issue with the character designs for the Injustice games, especially once you actually get them on model. Like everyone kind of fucking had a problem with the way Wonder Woman looks in Injustice 1, especially and that's especially jarring when you actually look at the concept art, because the concept art for Wonder Woman was great. It looked fantastic. It's just her model, like, I don't know, like that particular engine, or that particular, like, whoever did the models for the female characters, I don't know. I don't know if it was the engine, or if it was just that particular head modeler, or what, like, but like, obviously it got a lot better, especially once they got into facial mocapping. I don't remember what it's called, but, like, you know, modeling actual real people, modeling the characters after actual real people's faces and shit. So that's obviously not going to be an issue. But it's just, like, honestly, in the character stuff, it's whatever. You can eventually live with it. My main issue is with the story. And the thing is, I want there to be a new Injustice game, but I want the Injustice storyline to be over. And I don't mean like, this is the third game, I want them to finish the story. No, I want the third Injustice game to tell a completely new story. Because, like, this is... It's not a DC universe... It's not the DC universe I hate most. In fact, I kind of don't hate it at all. It's just... I'm just kind of sick of it, you know? Like, yeah, we've been here for a while. I'd like to go somewhere else. Like, having Dickhead Superman, it's like, yeah, it was cool in the first one. You know, I was willing to accept, like, okay, Superman goes nuts, becomes an evil dictator, fine, whatever. You gotta accept this type of shit if you want a good story, you know? So, like, I was fine with Dickhead Superman in the first game, and I was less okay with some of the character choices on, like, which side each superhero kind of planted their flag. Like, I have issues with that, especially with Wonder Woman siding with Superman. That is just stupid. I don't care who you are. That is fucking stupid. Like, it doesn't make sense. And what's worse, they try to make it make sense in the Injustice comics. It made it worse. Like, if you haven't read Wonder Woman's origin in the Injustice comics, like, it's really fucking bad. I don't really want to go over it. It's really fucking bad. I actually heard someone saying that, like, when discussing Wonder Woman's origin in Injustice, like I actually heard someone saying that, oh, this is, like, the Injustice universe has to be, like, one of the dark universes from Dark Knight's Metal, right? Like, no, that is a very fair assumption, because, like, yeah, this universe sucks. Like when they announced Injustice 2 and it said, oh, the big bad guy is gonna be Brainiac. Like, oh, okay. Like Superman's gonna reform. He's gonna be a good guy again. They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight Brainiac, and everything's gonna be good. Nope, that's not. No. Batman and Superman fight again because, of course, they do. Because Batman and Superman have to fight all the goddamn time, even if it doesn't make sense. That's another thing. Like, I am really sick of Batman versus Superman. I mean, like, I imagine I'd be slightly more tolerant of it if the actual Batman versus Superman movie wasn't a complete shit show. But just like, I'm really sick of this concept at this point. Mostly because, like, 9 times out of 10, it's just to make Batman look good. Like, it's not like any kind of actual, like, moral, like, ideological difference or whatever. It's just, no, we have to make Batman look good. Like, to their credit, like, I will give NetherRealm Studios this. The canon ending, I believe the canon ending of Injustice 2 is Superman winning. So, like, yeah, that's what would happen. Yeah. So, like, okay, yeah, like, Superman wins, but, like, also that means, like, the bad guy wins, which is, you know, but, like, I think there was a comic, like, the Injustice Universe versus He-Man or something. I never read it, but, like, it's following, like, the Superman wins ending from Injustice 2, so, like, I'm sure what is actually going to happen is that they're gonna go back to the Injustice universe. Like, Supergirl was captured, Batman was turned into Superman's slave, like, Superman incorporated all of Brainiac's technology into his, like, whatever. And, like, I'm pretty sure, like, Injustice 3 is gonna be, like, trying to take Superman down once and for all, I guess? I don't know. It feels a lot like what Mortal Kombat 11 did, you know, with, like, Raiden turning evil, and then in Mortal Kombat X, and then Mortal Kombat 11, just sort of everyone dealing with the fallout of that, except not really, because, like, evil Raiden disappears from existence when the past versions of the characters come in. For some reason, whatever. Like, Mortal Kombat 11's story wasn't great. Like, I was okay with it, but, like, Konako was a really weak villain. The ending was weird. Like, I actually dug how weird it was, and, like the weird different avenues they could potentially, take from now on. Like, you can actually do a lot of interesting stuff with the way Mortal Kombat 11 ended. Like, first of all, I have no idea if NetherRealms has some kind of plan for Injustice 3, like, what the fuck it is, because, like, the fucking time travel bullshit and how Mortal Kombat 11 actually ended, like, that is a Hail Mary no one could have seen coming. So, on one hand, it actually is kind of interesting because we have this, like, you have no idea where the story is going from now, at this point. But also, I kind of don't care, because I don't care about this universe anymore. If Injustice 3, like, if it does have a new story, which obviously it will, like, that's kind of NetherRealm's whole thing, like, okay, well, actually, there's 2 things. First of all, stop with the fucking character chapters, okay? Like, I get it. I get why that happens. You know, you gotta get the characters acclimated. I mean, you have to get the players acclimated to each character that's gonna show up. Like, okay, fine, whatever. It's a decent enough system, but it's also extremely limiting, because they very rarely repeat, like, characters. Like, actually, the structure of this whole character chapter system, it makes it weird, because basically the character you're controlling goes on, like, a 3-mission winning streak, and then they never win again. Like, will very rarely win again. And then other characters basically eat shit until their chapter comes up, and then they win every fight, and they continue to lose. Like it feels weird and really inconsistent. Like, especially in Injustice. I mean, in Mortal Kombat, it's still a little weird, because, like, you kind of imagine that certain characters would win against certain other characters, but, like, they lose, so that the character you're controlling can win the fight, or, like, whatever. Like, it's fucking weird, and it doesn't work a lot of times. It's like, fucking... In Injustice 1, Killer Frost beat Wonder Woman in a straight fight. That shouldn't fucking happen. It's like you have these weird scenarios where characters who should, like, logically win fights lose, so that the character you're controlling can win those fights. It's like, it's so weird. I think Tekken 7, like, I actually don't know. Tekken 7 had a story mode. I never played it. But, I think they just had you play as whatever character was important in that particular scene. Like, honestly, I think that, like, it jumps around a lot, and you're less inclined to get a handle on how each individual character plays, depending on how important they are to the plot. But I feel like that is a more logical way of approaching a story mode like this. Of course, another one would be like having like individual story modes, so that you play through specific characters' part in the story. Like, that can be really confusing also. Like, it's like, you gotta find a good balance for this type of shit. So, like, I feel like, first of all, NetherRealm kind of needs to alter the structure of their story modes, because the character chapter thing, it really needs to go. It's not conducive to good storytelling. It's kind of boring, honestly, gameplay-wise. Mechanically, it makes sense, because if you play through the story mode first and then go on to either the towers or online mode, then you at least have the basic knowledge of how certain characters play. But, like, even then, it's not every character. Because not every character is going to be playable in the story mode. Like, what about guys who want to main Captain Cold? Like, he's never playable in the story. Or, like, most of the villains aren't playable in the story mode. So, like, that's obviously a problem. So, like, yeah, you get a decent idea of how, like, a select number of the roster plays, but then you're kind of shit out of luck for everyone else. So, like, even then, it doesn't really work. And the second thing, like, honestly, like I said, I don't want to stay in the Injustice universe. I know that's what this game is, but, like, I'm really sick of this universe. Like, Dickhead Superman was fun for a minute, but then he gets boring. I fucking hate what they're doing with Wonder Woman. I can kind of get behind what they're doing with Harley, but, like, The fact that they made Harley and Ivy fight is kind of dumb. Especially the reason why they're fighting in Injustice 2 is dumb. Like, there's just, I don't know, there's just a bunch of shit in the Injustice universe I just kind of don't want to see again. Damian as Nightwing, that's stupid. That needs to disappear now. Like, there are a handful of things in the Injustice universe I actually kind of dig. But it's far outweighed by stuff I don't like. So, like, if they are gonna do an Injustice 3, what I think would be really fun and interesting, make it about the crime syndicate. Just, like, you can still do the whole doubles match thing, like the crime syndicate is basically just an evil version of the Justice League, so you can just, like, they're just palette swapped, basically. So, like, you have a whole new group of antagonists who are basically they're basically clones of the main heroes. Just off the bat, you basically doubled your roster no matter what you're doing, and you don't even have to, like, make entirely new characters or anything like. I feel like you can make, like, small tweaks, because you can, like, Mortal Kombat has always done, like, the variation system, like, there are certain ways that you can play certain characters, and it makes small tweaks in their moveset. And I feel like you can do the same thing here with the mainline Justice League characters and the Crime Syndicate characters. Like you have either the Superman variant or the Ultraman variant, and it's similar, but it has different moves that emphasize like different things. Like the Ultraman variant is more brutal and crap like that, while like the Superman variant is more restrained. Like it's still, yeah, he's still hit like a fucking truck, but he's not out for blood, you know? Like it's just like little things like that. Admittedly, it does kind of ruin things, because I think in in Mortal Kombat, they usually have like 3 variants for each character. But like, I don't know. I think this would be kind of interesting to do, and like you can even play around. Like you had I'm pretty sure they're still gonna have like the power button. Like each character has like a unique power. Like you hit the circle button and it does a special thing that each character does, and the 2 variants gonna have like different stuff. Like Superman's has always been a buff. Like I feel like you can do different stuff with it. Like Superman's can be a buff, and Ultraman's can be something else. I don't know. There's just like, I feel like you can actually do a lot, like both narratively and mechanically, by having the main threat of Injustice 3 be the Crime Syndicate instead of continue the Injustice storyline. I don't know. Like maybe people want to see how, like I in my opinion, like no matter which ending you went to, it feels like the Injustice story is over. Like either Superman wins and he's just a tyrant forever, like okay, or Batman wins and Superman is banished and Supergirl takes his place or something like that. I don't know, but like I don't know. Like I think the Teen Titans are still in the Phantom Zone. So, like, maybe that's gonna be a thing in the 3rd one? That they're trying to get the Teen Titans out of the Phantom Zone? I kind of want the story to be over, you know? Like, I get it. Like, I know there are a lot of people who actually really do like the Injustice universe, and, you know, good on them. I'm glad they can enjoy this. And, like, I enjoy it, kind of. You know, parts of it. And I know there are a lot of people who prefer dickhead Superman to mainline Superman. Like, whatever. Who cares? It's just like this is just a me thing, really. Like, this is what I want from Injustice 3. It's probably going to be completely different than what you want. It's just, I think instead of continuing this storyline that's just so fucking depressing and everyone's an asshole and, like, it's hard to care about these characters. Like, in this universe, it's like, they're all douchebags. Like, I don't care about any of them. I kinda care about Supergirl a little, because, like, she's the only one that's a decent fucking human being. And I mean, Harley, she's whatever. I kinda like Ollie and Dinah. Like, that's it! I don't really care about anyone else. Just, like, those 4 characters. I think doing the Crime Syndicate story personally would would make a better game. You know, that's just me. That's just where I'm coming from. I don't know. So yeah, I'm on No Mercy, the Mad Hatter. I'll see y'all later.